Hi, I'm Amanda Skelton, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how to make this cute little box. It'd be a really nice gift box. It measures 2 inches across by, 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches and is 1 inch deep. So it's a really cute little box that you could use for gifts. You could use it for wedding favours. You could use it for like a necklace or jewellery or cufflinks, or you could even just add some chocolates to it, so it'd make a really nice gift, the gift box. It's Father's Day coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'm recording this on the 28th of May 2020. So it's Father's Day here in the UK in a couple of weeks, so it might be a nice little gift box for something for your dad or grandfather. So I'm going to use this box to showcase the new In Colours range that's coming out in 1 week's time. So next week, the 3rd of June, the new In Colours are coming out. So this is the palette that we're going to be, that's going to be in that set. So we've got Bumblebee, which is sort of like this mustardy colour. We've got Cinnamon Cider. We've got Just Jade. We've got Magenta Madness. And then we've got Misty Moonlight. Now this is the DSP that you get as part of the In Colours DSP set. And as always, they're two-sided. So there's 4 different patterns you can choose from. So you have this like wood grain effect, and then like a written text on the other side. I think it looks like it's French. Actually, it's all different types of language actually. So you've got those 2 types, or you've got like this sort of splatter sort of effect, and then spots. So that's the 4 sides, different patterns, and you get each of those in each of the different colours. So it's a really nice set. So these are the colour I'm going to use on this particular one. We'll use the Bumblebee. So I'll put those away. So I've got a piece of ribbon around here which we'll also use. So you can just slide. Ooh. I'm going to slide it off because it took me ages to do the bow. So if I just slide that off, and then you can see it opens up to reveal your box. So you just slide that in there, and then put your ribbon back around. Okay, so that's what we're going to make today. So like I said, I'm going to do it in a different colour scheme. I'm going to do it in the Bumblebee. So this was using the Magenta Madness, which is quite a nice bright colour. Okay, so what will you need? You'll need some coloured cardstock. So again, I'm using the Bumblebee cardstock, which is part of the cardstock for the 2020 to 2022 In Colour series. And this needs to measure 4¼ inches by 4¼ inches. And you want to score each edge 15/16 of an inch. So just under the 1 inch gauge on your trimmer or your ruler. And then that's because I said it was a 1 inch deep box, so obviously this needs to be just under 1 inch to be able to fit it in the case. So this is 15/16 scored in on each 4 edge. Okay, and then you've got you'll need, if you're using the 6x6 DSP, you'll need 2 pieces of DSP for this, and you need 2 of these, and each one will measure 5 3/4 of an inch that way by 3 3/8 of an inch this way. And then you need to score it along the long edge at 2 3/8 from each edge. And then you want to also score 1 inch from the long edge as well. So we're not particularly using anything that has got a pattern on it, but if you're using something that's got an obvious way up, then what you'd need to do is make sure that when you score the 1 inch, that you score 1 inch from the left and 1 inch from the right, so that when you then have 1 inch there, 1 inch here, the pattern should be the same way up. Like I said, it's not going to really matter for this because so as you can see here, it spots, so there's not really a right way up, so it should be fine. Okay, so let's start with the box. So I've already scored my lines. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to burnish all my score lines. Okay, so this is sort of a normal box design. And then what you want to do is cut each of these score lines here. So cut there, and then if you want to make your little cuts in, your little V's to make tabs, just makes it a bit easier to fold it in, otherwise it can get quite bulky and sometimes you can't quite fold it into the box. You don't need to take an awful lot off of there. And then if you do it the same direction both sides, it just makes it really easy. You don't get confused as to which bits you're cutting, and you don't cut the tabs off by mistake. Okay, so there you have 4 tabs there. Okay, so it's up to you what you want to use. If you want to use tear and tape or wet glue or tape, I'm going to use wet glue just because it helps you to be able to sort of position it once it's there to make sure you get a nice crisp square box. So basically you want to fold in your 4 tabs. I'll do 2 at a time, and then basically once it's folded in, that's the edge you want to glue so that the tabs are on the inside. I'm using wet glue, like I said, just using the Tombow liquid glue, multi-liquid glue, and then I'm just going to offer it up to the edge so it makes a nice edge there. And again on the other side, you just have to hold it for a little bit to adhere the glue. Give it a good push, especially on the edges and on the tabs. Make sure the tab sticks. Okay, I can feel that that's taken. And then we can repeat the same for the other side of the box. So again, fold in the tabs, then that is the side you want to glue, and then again each corner and then you can feel, if you just run your hand down it, you can make sure that it feels nice and flat and square and true to the box. Okay, just give it a good push. The good thing about this multi-glue is that it does stick quite quickly. You don't have to sit there for hours holding it, which sometimes you do with some glues, which is good. So there you've got your box. Right, so I set that to the side for the minute. Okay, so now we have our box. So you've scored your lines, so again burnish all your edges. You can obviously choose which you want to be your outside edge and which you want to be your inside edge. I've decided to have the sort of wood effect because I thought that might be a bit more sort of masculine, so my thought was this could be for a male present. Okay, and then what you want to do is, before you do any cutting or anything, we obviously need to make these corners. So how we'll do that is, it's quite difficult if you've got a patterned paper, But what we're going to do is by hand is we're going to fold in each of the corners to where the fold comes to. What you want to make sure is that you can still fold your other fold lines you've got, so if you go too far that won't fold. So once you've got that in place, you can just score that, and again sometimes you might need to just fold it just to remember where the lines are. But again, make sure that your fold lines are nice and easy to still use, that you don't fold it over too far. And then again, well, I'm going to use glue tape, and you can just fold those over. Again, you can use the liquid glue if you want to, your preference. I just find this a lot quicker. So we obviously want to do the same on the other side. So I'm in my own shadow here when I do it down on the table, but right, so I can see that I've done that slightly too far because it wouldn't fold nicely. If you don't quite get it right first time, you can just readjust it, but then once you're happy with it, then burnish it, and then it'll make the fold nice and clean. Right, so what you could do is you could always put a pencil mark. If you can't see it very easily, you could always put a pencil mark where your corner of join is, and then that gives you something to aim towards. There you go. Okay, so now you've got two pieces like this. What you need to do then is cut this corner square. So we're just going to put two slits up, a little bit like we did with the box base. Again, you can add your wedges. To make it easier to fold them in and glue them. Helps if you stick them as well, doesn't it? I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so I've stuck those two. I'll stick these two down. And I'm doing the glue on the flap, because then I know that I'm doing it on only the bit that's going to stick. If you do it on here and you end up putting too much glue on, then you've got it on the other sections, which you don't necessarily want. And also, if you've got a silicone craft mat, even better, because nothing sticks, none of the glues stick to a silicone craft mat. So if you go over the edges again, it doesn't affect anything. Okay, so there we go. So what we're going to then do is make those into our corners. Okay, there may be an obvious way that your boxes go together, so I don't know, it might just about match a pattern. So that looks wrong to me, so I'm going to do it that way so that the pattern matches. The reason for doing that is you want to make sure then that your seam is on the bottom edge. So if you think that's going to be your top edge, you don't want it like that, because then you're going to see your seam. You'll fold it the other way around so that you've got the nice fold on the top. So I'm going to keep those like that so I can make sure I remember which way they go. So you want to glue the inside of the tab again, as we did with the box. So that's going to be the top edge, so that needs to be stuck to the bottom section. Again, just give it a good press down. Make sure you get into your corners so that you get nice stuck edges. And then stick those down. So you can use your weight of your finger there, put on its side. Just make sure it's all pressed together. Got a nice edge there. And that's all stuck there. Okay, so that's one edge. So again, just before I stick the next one down, I'm just going to make sure that I've got the nice top edge there. So again, I'll take the lid off. On the inside of the flap. So this is this corner. So I'm going to stick the bottom piece. I'll just get that edge there to stick. Again, just add some weight to the tab. You can always use your bone folder just to add a bit of pressure. And then that is going to go over the top. So on the inside, and then fold that one over. And again, I'm just going to add some pressure. Okay, and then we've got a nice sturdy box there. So I've still got my pattern matching, which is good. And then there you go, you've got your box. I've got glue all over my hands now, never mind, that'll come off in a minute. Okay, so that is pretty much the mechanics of the box. So now we want to decorate it. So what I've got here are a couple of ovals. So this is what I did on this first one, if you can see. I've just made ovals to put a sentiment on. If you're using a patterned paper that maybe has got particular, you know, it's got flowers on or animals or something like that, you might want to take something from there, either a matching stamp or a piece of the actually a piece of the DSP of pattern paper, and you could use that to decorate it as well. I've just kept this quite simple, especially because this will be for a mail, so I just thought it would be nice to keep it simple and appeal to more people. So I've got two different dies here. So these are the layering ovals framelets, and as you can see here, I've got a white piece with the scalloped edge and then a solid piece from here. So you need a couple of scraps from your cardstock, so some more Bumblebee cardstock, and I've got some Whisper White cardstock. So I need to get my Big Shot die cutting machine. Of course, the new machine is coming out with the next catalogue, the new Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine. I don't think it will be available to order as soon as the new catalogue goes live. I think it will be a little bit after, but so keep an eye out, and obviously I'll make sure my customers are aware when it does. So we're going to do the white with the scallop. I'm just going to put that one there. Okay, so I've got my white scallop, and then I've got my Bumblebee, which is going to be my solid round piece. Okay, so I can get rid of that one now for the minute. Okay, so now we have our ovals here. here, and that just gives it a really nice edge. And because it's on such a small box, it's nice that it's got quite a small edge, and it just keeps all the proportions together. So I'm going to print a sentiment on here, or stamp a sentiment. So I've got Happy Day on here, which is from this Itty Bitty Birthdays. There is about, I think, 3 or 4 different Itty Bitty stamp sets available, and the nice thing is that the fonts are smaller and the sayings are smaller, so it's really perfect for a small project like this. So I'm going to use the Happy Day again, and the inks are not available yet for the new colours, although the cardstock and the DSP is, so I'm just going to use a colour that's closely related to it. I'm going to use some ribbon, so I've got the yellow ribbon. Again, these are the 2020, 2022 in colour matching colours. I might even do it in blue and just give it a different colour. So again, I've got the closest matching colour I can. So let me show you what it looks like both ways, actually, because I can turn it over. That's a good thing about card, it has 2 sides. So I'm just using, what colour am I using? Crushed Curry, which is the closest colour I can find at the moment until the actual card stamp is available. So that is dark enough that you can see it. I don't know, maybe I'll keep it all yellow, I can't decide now. Or I can use the Knights of Navy. So by the time it's on there, oh, where did I put the blue ribbon? Oh, I haven't even opened it, look. That's how new it is, hot off the press. So we could do it that colourway, or that colourway, I can't quite decide. I think I might do it that way, just to add a bit more interest. Okay, so what you want to do is layer your sentiment. Again, you can use wet glue, or you can use the liquid glue, or you can use glue tape. And then what you have to make sure you do here is when you stick it onto the lid, you only want to stick it onto 1/2 of the lids, otherwise you can't open up the box. Okay, so what you want to do is, what I sometimes do to make it easier is, if you hold it in place on the side you want to stick it to, if you get a pencil, draw a line, and that tells you exactly where you shouldn't be going across. So you want that to sort of be centred. So a little bit less than that. So that's a little tip for you there. So it's this side that I want to be gluing. And if anything, you probably want to make sure you put less on than more, just to make sure it doesn't go over. And then once you've done that, you can just press it in place. Okay, and then you can open it up like that. And then the only thing left to do now is to put some ribbon around it. So this is what keeps it all in place. So about 18 or 19 inches of ribbon. So that's 10, 10. That's about 19 there. And then you can just, easier said than done. It's a bit like fighting with an octopus sometimes. Now I have done a ribbon. If you do a ribbon, it means that somebody can open it a bit easier. So if you put the box on its side and hold on, it should hopefully keep it nice and tight for you. This is a really nice thickness of ribbon actually. It's nice and, oh, I haven't got a hold of that. It's quite a nice narrow ribbon, so again, perfect for a small project like this. It just keeps all the proportions in line. What have I got at that time? Yes, there you go. Just pull the ribbon up halfway. Then you can fuss around with the ribbon to make it go the right way and cut off any excess. And actually the only other thing we're going to do that I added onto this one were these little dots. So these are 2020 2022 in colour enamel dots, and I've just added 3 across the top. Now because, so again you get all 5 colours in the set, so I think I'm going to add blue just to keep in with the blue ribbon, and that'll just be a nice detail. Oh, pick it up. These are self-glued, they're already adhesive glue dots. So what you need to make sure is when you take your dots off of the cellophane, that you take everything off the cellophane. If you end up with a coloured dot left, that is the bit that's got the glue on. So you need to make sure that you pick up the whole of the dot. Like I said, they are self-adhesive. And 3 dots normally looks quite good. Let me use my picker tool. Oh, it's stuck to my finger now. There we go. So this is a really good tool. It's just got like a bit of putty on it really, and it just helps you to position. There you go, and I think that just finishes it off nicely. So there we have it, a cute little box, gift box that can be used for any occasion. You can obviously change the sentiment, you can obviously add more embellishments if you want to, with some really nice ribbon. Again, it's the in colour ribbon, and showcasing the whole new in colour range. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you can utilise a nice gift box like this to give to somebody a really nice present. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. You can visit me at my Stampin' Up website, which is www.amandascraftedcards.stampingup.net. So you can see all the products there. Like I said, these in colour products are not available until the 3rd of June, but then will be available. So if you have any questions, then please do let me know. Thank you very much indeed.